to change the pH in your body. So we drink a lot. Now that's the next point we want to go over, is how much do we drink? A good rule of thumb is a gallon a day, but it depends on what you drink. The average woman, a good safe bet would be about 1,200 calories a day. Average man, maybe 1,500, as high as 1,800 calories. So it really depends on what you juice. A common mistake a lot of people make is they're afraid of the sugar in carrots, and I don't think they're that bad personally. I mean, gosh, Gerson Clinic was using it to heal people with cancer. Hallelujah Acres, they're using carrot juice. They even did a study with carrot juice, and they found that when people drank 14 ounces of carrot juice, it only brings their blood sugar up to 116, which isn't that bad. And then that's pure carrot juice. So if you mix it with vegetables and then maybe add some fat with it, like a tablespoon or so of some sort of essential fatty acid, flax oil or hemp oil or something like that, you bring it down even more. But the problem with not using carrots, when you use it as a base, when you go to cucumber and celery, you can come up 5, 6, 7, 800 calories short. If you make a gallon of vegetable juice using carrots and a gallon of vegetable juice using cucumber and celery are about the lowest of everything in calories. And you're going to be at least 600 calories short per gallon. So you can't just say, I got to drink a gallon and that's it. It really does pay to punch in and go ahead and do the calculations for a couple days. When I first started coaching people, I calculated everything they did for years. For over almost 10 years, I had them keep detailed records, and I went through and I did all the math and I saw what they were getting. And that's how I came up with this basic guideline that if you drink a gallon a day, there's a good chance you're going to get everything you need. But if you're more active, you need more. I'm still pretty active, so when I do this, I got to drink 2 gallons a day almost. And no one should be afraid of drinking too much, but we need to be afraid of drinking too little. If you don't drink enough, you risk the chance of losing lean body mass. This is why I got into this 30 years ago. I figured out mathematically how to prevent that from happening. And all we have to do is make sure we drink a lot. Now, if you're above average, obviously you need more. If you're smaller than average, then you won't need as much. And I found that the more juice I put through my system, the more weight I would lose. Because what we're losing does not have a caloric value. That's why you can lose 30 pounds in 30 days and it's still safe weight loss. Because what you're losing is maybe 22, 24 pounds of waste matter. That's safe weight loss. What's not safe is having that stuff in us. And why is that detrimental? Well, let me digress for just a second. One of the main jobs our colon has is to be a depository for all the waste matter in our body. And everything in our body works by way of ionic pressure. You know, about 70% of our body is water, approximately, or it should be. And water uses the osmotic flow, or ionic pressure. For you guys being in Houston, you know how Hurricane Ike came down into Houston? Ionic pressure, high pressure, low pressure. So one of the jobs our colon has is to be a depository for all the waste matter in our body. And we've got somewhere between 70 to 100 trillion cells, and every cell is like its own entity. Food needs to come in, waste matter needs to go out. But if our colon is plugged up, the cell membrane senses the rest of the body's toxic, and it knows that it's inside a body. And it knows that if the body dies, it dies too. So it will sacrifice itself if it has to. It will hold on to its own waste matter. And this is the leading cause of diabetes right here. Simple solution for diabetes: flush out that waste matter in your colon, change the ionic pressure in your colon, and every cell in your body is going to start emptying out its waste matter. And then the sugar can go into cells. Same principle works for arthritis. I've coached lots of people and they had to go 100 days before they saw their pain go away. And they may have had their colon cleansed by day 30. But just because you've gotten everything out doesn't mean you don't want to leave your colon empty. Even though when we're eating the right foods that should come out of us really quickly, it still changes the pressure in here. And what we want to do is we want to drastically change the ionic pressure in our colon so it sucks stuff from everywhere in our body. So if you've got uric acid in your joints, which is what causes a lot of arthritis, you change the pressure here, it sucks the waste matter from your joints. It sucks it from everywhere. When I did my 90-day juice feast, the blue eyes I had as a child that turned hazel as an adult turned back to blue. How did that happen? My colon sucked the stuff out of it. So most people's colons are like a balloon. The pressure is greater inside than it is supposed to be. And we want to convert our colon from a balloon into a black hole. So it sucks stuff into it. It's like turning your vacuum cleaner on high-speed cleansing. Now, have you ever tried vacuuming a rug and your vacuum cleaner bag is full? Doesn't work, does it? Well, that's what our colon is like when there's too much junk in the trunk. So, the Juice Feast does things. The Juice Feast does things that nothing else can do. It really does. If you adopt a raw vegan diet, it may take you 3 years to get to where you want to be. Juice Feast, you can do it in about 3 months. So if you're suffering, why suffer? Doesn't even make any sense to me. And also, it's the easiest way for me, I think, for people not to eat the wrong food. As long as you're eating, it's not easy to say, okay, I'm supposed to eat this, but I'm eating, I might as well eat this. But when you commit yourself to saying, I'm not going to eat anything, I'm just going to drink my food, that's the easiest way not to eat the wrong food. It really is. It may not sound like it because a lot of us have never done it before, but once you get past the first few days, it gets a lot easier. Yes?
I have a couple of questions. On the essential fatty acids here, you got EPO. Can you say what that is?
I'm almost at that. I'm on number 6, and you got me going at number 7.
My other one is how much of this do you put in each glass?
I'll talk about that in just a second. I like to be very methodical in what I do. That way I make sure I do it right. But good question. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. So we drank a lot. Number 6, you got to make sure you don't stand up too quickly. You might get lightheaded or dizzy. Well, why is that? Because most of the blood is in here cleaning the house. For the same reason, we feel cold on the outside, not as much blood on the outside. Our body temperature is the same, but we feel cold because of that. Number 7, supplements.